All right. We have a special guest here tonight. Actually, a couple of them. Big shout out to Emily Lambert. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for everything that you put into a lot of this from the very beginning. Thank you, Emily. And she's really the captain of a pretty remarkable team. I've had the pleasure of working with her, getting to know her through a lot of the work that I did with Triness Evans. And so, thank you. And a big shout out to the Armchair Detectives, our version of the Sedition Hunters. But I'd like to introduce Roger Roots. Roger has been really an outstanding and amazing patriot fighting for this country on so many different fronts for so long. And so.
All right, well, thank you so much. Let's see, I was just discussing, saying a few words. I'm a lawyer. I worked on a lot of previous, I guess you could call them patriot, libertarian type cases. I worked on the Bundy cases both in Oregon and Nevada. I like to say, compared to all my law school buddies that I graduated law school with, I've cost the federal government more money than all of them. I think they spent $250 million trying to convict the Bundys in those actually several different trials. In all, there were 5 trials. I was involved in 4 at least watched 4 of them. I'm the only person, not just the only lawyer, the only person that watched, I think, pretty much every single day of 4 Bundy trials. And I worked with the Cliven Bundy team in Nevada and the Ryan Bundy team in Oregon. Not a single Bundy was convicted of a single count, ultimately.
Amen.
These cases here in D.C. are a whole different set of challenges, and I'm working on research on a variety of fronts. I'll just say, I was talking to Randy, and I said, well, I can talk about a few of my pet peeves about the federal courts. One of them is the violation of the 6th Amendment right to public trial.
Amen.
So the 6th Amendment right says that all accused have a right to a speedy and public and fair trial.
That's right.
But did you know that there isn't much public about federal trials today? There isn't. The public is treated like dirt in federal court. Most federal courts are in downtown areas. It's hard to get there. It's hard to park. It's expensive. So the public has such a hard time attending. They can come and sit in the audience. They are harassed all the way in. Many of you have experienced this. Security checks, multiple security checks, pat downs. You practically have to strip naked to get into the building. ID checks of all kinds, security checks of all kinds. A lot of these federal court buildings, remember the 6th Amendment says there's a right to public trial. That means the public should be able to come in and watch. The public all has stuff. We all have stuff. We're walking around. We have backpacks. We have purses. Okay, most of these federal courthouses do not have lockers. They do not let you. It depends on the judge. Depends on the courtroom. Some of them don't allow cell phones. Everyone has a cell phone. I've seen federal court buildings where they stop the public at the door of the building before even coming in and tell them that they cannot bring a cell phone in. That means, well, they got to go back to their car, usually parked at a parking garage downtown, running up $30 a day parking. Frequently they have to go back and forth to their car to put their electronics, their phones or whatever away. Some federal courts allow the devices in, but then don't allow them in the courtroom, and that poses another set of problems. What do you do with it? Well, again, they don't have lockers. The violation of the 6th Amendment right to public trial is unbelievable. It's on a massive scale. Many of us have seen on television trials. We see trials being reported on, but those are all state trials. When you see video of trials, they are all state trials. So the OJ trial was publicized. That was state of California. The Kyle Rittenhouse trial. These famous state trials, and Americans tune into those. They have a right to be informed. They have a right to know what's going on in those courtrooms. But those are all at the state level. At the federal level, There is a rule, there has been a rule in place for decades that does not allow any cameras or filming or photographs in a federal courtroom. That's been in place for decades. And this is such a violation of the Sixth Amendment right to public trial.
Amen.
It's an unbelievable violation, and it allows so much evil to happen in our federal court system. There's so much darkness and evil and wickedness that if it was filmed, if cameras and reporters were allowed to show it to the American people would be outraged. But federal courts are a dark hole where the American public cannot easily really even see what's going on. And we're seeing this in these January 6th cases on a massive scale. It's just unbelievable the evil that is happening. The American people are not able to even watch it. Ironically, it's COVID. Thanks to COVID, some of the pre-trial hearings were broadcast by different things. I think you could call in. Some people were able to call in and listen to some of the hearings, but not the trials. And that was only due to COVID in recent years. So all these federal proceedings are under a veil of darkness, and the American people are not able to watch how evil and wicked these proceedings have become. And it's just unbelievable. And by the way, think about the poor. If you're poor, you don't have a car parked at the parking garage. You can't take your device out and put it in your car. So if you're poor, you're not allowed to be in. You can't, because a lot of courthouses don't let you bring your stuff. You can't bring your purse, your backpack. You don't have a car. You can't put it anywhere. They are violating the right to public trial on a massive scale. The founding fathers would be rolling over in their graves if they saw what is happening. And maybe I'll hand it back to Randy. Thank you so much. I really would like to just thank and honor Randy and everybody else here who have been coming here nightly for so long. You guys are worth praise like no one could believe it. You guys, my hats off to every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And no, I first heard of Roger, I don't know, about a year and a half ago. But, like I said, some of his work is among some of the best in the country for when it comes to the legal stuff, for upholding the Constitution. And thank you for everything you do, Roger.